the next session. You're welcome, Rose. Have a good day. See you later. All right, if you are doing pure stretch, the good news is we start lying down. And I will turn the camera around because that helps. Right, so we're going to start our pure stretch next in a lying down position. Always a nice place to start. So we get everything loose. If you've not just done Pilates, everything will be loose already. So we're going to come to our nice relaxed warm-up. Something about today's relaxed. It's not the building work outside, believe me. So as we come into a lying down position, we just want to allow ourselves to relax. Your feet are hip distance apart. You're going to let your arms just come away from your body. Take a nice big breath in. As you breathe out, let your shoulders relax down to the floor. Gently bring your chin in so you feel a lengthening feeling through the back of the neck. One more nice big breath in. As you breathe out, just sink down again into the ground. So let's become aware of our core. Gently draw your belly button towards your spine, but try not to press your back into the floor. So we're trying to keep the pelvis level. Now from here we can get some mobility and movement through our upper back and keeping our lower back still. So when you're ready, bring your hands towards your shoulders, point your elbows up to the ceiling. Gently draw the shoulder blades again away from your ears. Now don't lift your lower back, but as you breathe in, just allow your rib cage to open, and then breathe out, squeeze and press the back of the ribs into the ground. So again, you're breathing in, opening across your chest and your shoulders, and then breathing out to squeeze. The breath just simply flows in through the nose and then out through your mouth. Starting to just create a little bit of movement through our upper back, a little bit of extension into our spine. One more time, big breath in. Out breath and close. And stay here. So we'll start to draw a few circles with our elbows. Doesn't matter which direction you're going to start with. You're going to start small. You're going to start to make them a little bit bigger. Using the in-breath as you open. And again, the out-breath as you close. If you can, don't worry too much about the breathing. I want you to feel relaxed, not worrying about the breath. Just breathing naturally if you need to. Right, as the elbows come into centre this time, pause, start small. Just taking the opposite way around. Then just to make them a little bigger if that feels comfortable. Allowing your breath to flow, just gently in through the nose, out through your mouth. And a couple more. Now you can keep the elbows above your shoulders. Make sure the shoulders are pressed into the floor. Reach the arms up. You're going to make your right arm longer and you're going to pull your right shoulder back. Your left arm, as it comes longer, your left shoulder lifts off the floor. And I want you to physically press the shoulder back into the ground. Like you're pulling your shoulder blade back in towards your spine. Okay, give me one more here. And then you keep both arms straight. Don't let your back lift or your ribs arch. So you're going to gently reach the arms back, bend your elbows and reach to your ankles. So again, we're using the in-breath to reach overhead and the out-breath to close. Now we're going to start to bend the elbows and start to create a little bit more resistance. So you start to feel the muscles in the back of your body, pulling your shoulder blades down towards your back pockets. Keeping the chin tucked in again so you're aware that your head hasn't tilted back. Aware the ribs aren't flaring as the arms go back overhead. And once more. This time as your arms come back above your shoulders, you're going to hold them here. You're going to pull the arms out wide so your hands are just below your shoulder line. And let your head turn gently from side to side. Now keep pressing both shoulders into the floor as you turn your head. And that's going to help encourage the movement into your neck. We're going to do that once more each way. And after this one, you can keep your head still and in the centre. Same movement now with our legs. They just roll to the back and then over to the front. We still feel like the shoulders are glued to the ground. Back of the ribs nice and anchored. And just letting your knee roll across to your opposite heel. You're breathing in through the nose and out through your mouth. You're going to try and breathe out as you let the knees drop. In to lift them, out to drop them. The breathing's the slightly opposite way to Pilates. You're breathing out to go deeper into your stretch. And once more. We're going to keep our knees in the centre. Pick up your right knee. Bring the knee above your hip and we're going to do our can-can. So push forward, pull the knee back and then reach up to the ceiling. Now what we're aiming for is to get the back of the knee joint straight. And that's where the hamstring muscles tend to sometimes get the tightest. So if we're pushing our leg up and we're keeping a bent knee, we're never getting into the back of the knee joint. So maybe think about pushing the leg out to the diagonal. Now we're going to start to get into your calves when you're ready. So you push away through your heel. If you can get the leg straight above the hip, that's fine. Press up towards the ceiling. But again, remember it's more important to get the knee joint straight. That's the muscles we're targeting at the back of the knee joint. So give me 2 more on this leg. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then on your next one, you're just going to keep the knee here above the hip. Slide your left leg away. Again, anchoring your shoulders, we're going to roll the knee to the back so it just comes over your body and then away from your body. So we're getting the movement into the hips again. Using the in-breath and the out-breath to let the knee fall. In. So again, try and find the breath out, just as the leg moves down. So you're almost breathing out and relaxing everything. Once more each way. Now you can hold your knee across your body. Your left hand is going to come onto your knee or your top hand, gently easing it down to the floor. Again, press your front shoulder down into the floor. And if it feels okay, you can just gently turn your head and look down your front arm. Let the breath again come in through the nose, out through your mouth. And let's come to the other side. So bring that knee back in, keep the knee bent, foot comes onto the ground, and then we start with the left leg with our can-can. Remember, straight knee, whichever direction you need to extend your leg into, squeeze at the front of your thigh. And again, the more you start to activate the muscles through the front of the leg, the more it encourages the muscles through the back of your leg to stretch and release. So again, physically squeeze the front of your thigh. Breathe in, out to push, in, out. Now start to flex your foot, so you're going to push away from your heel this time. And as you start to dig into your heel, start to feel a little bit more stretch and work into your calves. And again, your calves also cross the back of the knee. So as you're pushing away through the heel, it tightens those calf muscles a little and it encourages more stretch around that knee joint. And if you are a little stiff through the knees, it can be sometimes tight hamstrings or tight calves. So give me a couple more, just trying to encourage that range of movement whenever you feel it's comfortable. It's never comfortable. Always use that word, and no I shouldn't. Hold here, you're going to slide your front leg forward. Roll your knee across. Now try to keep the shoulders grounded. So the movement just coming into the hip, into the lower back. Breathe out as the knee sinks. Breathe in. Just take it at your own pace so you can regulate your breath with your movement. Might be a little slower, it might be a little quicker. Once more each way. You're going to hold the leg at the front this time. You're going to allow the knee to sink, 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 sink. Take a nice big breath in and almost take your breath into your lower back now. And as you breathe out, relax your lower back. If you can, you might want to bring your hand to your knee and gently encourage the knee down too. And it might also feel nice to turn your head and look down the back arm. So we've got some movement into our hips. Now we're going to bring some movement into our spine. We're going to come into pixie rolls. I'm going to bring the knees into the centre. Take a hold of the back of your thighs. You're going to roll forward, and as you do, you cross your ankles and then flex forward. You roll back, and then the feet cross the opposite direction. If you don't like the pixie rolls, to still continue getting that movement and flexibility through your spine, just come into a gentle roll back. But if you're enjoying the pixie rolls, continue to enjoy them. Breathing in, gentle flex forward now, so you're controlling your movement forward. You're keeping your hips anchored to the ground. You're breathing in as you roll back, and you're breathing out to tip. We're going to do 2 more, and you're going to try and keep your right leg on the top this time. So your right foot is a top one, hold forwards and gently just pop forward. So you're keeping your chin tucked in, just allowing yourself to bob gently backwards and forwards. Now we're going to come into some shoulder circles. So you're going to come into the centre, shoulders above your hips. We're working with our right arm. We're going to swoosh it forward. You swoosh your word. It is now. You're going to brush your arm, or swoosh your arm, past your ear. Now I'm trying to reach further forward. So you feel like that starts to really stretch into your spine. Push your fingers away, as if you're drawing a circle with your hand. Now start to use your left hand, push it into the floor, and that's going to help you to lift. Give me 2 more circles, breathing in, out to lift, once more, and then stay here. Your left arm this time comes over, and then your right arm. So again, we're bringing the movement into our spine, ear towards your shoulder. Now as you breathe in, become really tall in the centre. And as you come tall, that's going to help to open your spine. Just encourages a little bit more movement through each vertebrae. And once more. Coming over to your right, and then you're going to rest in the centre. We go back to our pixie rolls, so we just reset the legs. So again, holding on, make sure there's nothing behind. Roll back, and then cross your legs. And again, gently ease forward. Just alternate the legs. Tucking in the chin as you roll back. And again, if you don't like this, just stay in a seated position and with a gentle roll back. But by the looks in your face, you're all quite enjoying that one. And once more. So as you come forward, we're going to make sure that left leg is on top and your left shin in front of your right. Come back onto the hips. Lengthen up your spine and let's swoosh our left arm. So push forward. Breathe in, breathe out as you push out of your right hand to get that lift back up. I love this feeling. So again, we get the movement into the shoulder, comes all the way down the spine. Now try and get your weight anchored into your sit bones, and then see if you can push your fingers further forward and make your circle just a little bit bigger. So you'll feel that when you're pushing over to that diagonal, you've got a nice big stretch into your lower back. And then using those waist muscles as you pick up the arm one last time. And we stay in the centre. Your right arm comes over. And then to your left. So again, we just gently ease in from side to side. Try not to let your hips rock from side to side. Your elbow bends. That allows you to go a little bit deeper whenever you're ready. Breathing in through the nose. Out with a lift. And once more each way. Then we're going to do a similar movement with our legs next. So you're going to bring both hands down. You're going to bring your feet out wide, really wide. Slightly sit back onto your hands. And you're just going to roll your knees to your right and then over to your left. Now again, you're going to push the hand into the ground and lift your rib cage up. Now you're going to squeeze your bottom and push your hip forward. So as you push the hip forward, a little bit more stretch to the front of your thigh. Now you can make that rotation go a little bit bigger by just allowing the arm to gently wrap. Breathe in as you turn, out to release. In, out, shake it all about. I'll try not to sing. And once more, each way. And then from here, we just stay in the centre. We're going to keep our feet wide. Now you're going to gently flex forward, take your ankles, tuck in your chin, and gently draw the belly back towards the spine. Then you're going to push your chest forward and lift your ribs. So you're going to tuck in the chin, draw the belly back, so you get a nice rounding through your spine, and then push forward and lift your chest. Breathe in through the nose, and then breathe out through your mouth. Okay, we're going to bring it into our hamstrings next. From here, we're going to bring both legs out straight. So right leg forward, and then your left. Hands on your sit bones, and give them a little tug back. We're going to breathe in, lift the arms. You're going to fold forwards, back of your knuckles on the ground, and then you're going to circle the arms back. As if you're doing a butterfly stroke. I want you to feel the movement in the back. So your chin tucks in, and then your spine restacks. If you struggle with the legs straight, just let the knees bend. Let the breath come up the arms. Breathing in and out to release. Now you're going to stay forward. You're going to swim. More of a breaststroke, not a breaststroke, a crawl. Don't know how to swim, I promise. You're going to turn into your chest. So your head turns to the front and then all the way to the back. Gently reaching your fingers towards or just past your toes. And again, don't be harsh on your body. Just allow it to soften and just move as it feels comfortable. Give me a couple more. And then this time, as you come forward, you're going to take your right foot and you're going to pull it back into the inner thigh. Again, pulling your left sit bone back. You're going to breathe and lift the arms, press your hands together, and then bring your hands to the outside of your left ankle. If you can't quite reach the ankle, the calf's fine, or the side of the knee. A little bit of rotation, just gently pulling the arm back. Now as you're pulling your arm back, you're trying to encourage rotation in the neck at the same time. So your head just gently follows your hand. Shoulder blades squeezing back towards the spine. Breathing out to reach. Into centre. And again, 2 more here. And your last one. From here, you're going to bring your hands into centre. You're going to bring your leg out a little wider so you're more square to the front. Left hand to the inside of your ankle. You're going to gently side bend and then come up tall. Side bend and into the centre. Breathing out as you reach across, shoulders above your hips. Now as you reach across, you can allow your left elbow to bend. And now you're going to pulse. So you're going to hold here. You're going to pulse the hand across for 10, 9. Press down into your right sit bone. Just feel a nice lengthening coming down the side of your ribs for 5, 4, 3, 2. You're going to hold on 1. Turn your palm up, lift the arms. You're going to reach the arms up, pull, press and reach. So you're just letting that movement again, just gently ease into your spine. Encouraging that C shape. Reaching across towards your toes. And you're going to give me a couple more here. And then we're going to add a little bit more of a challenging movement. Bring it down. Right hand comes under your shoulder. You're going to turn your hips to the front and press the edge of your left foot down. You're going to lift into a little hover. Now once you're here, press the hand firmly into the floor and roll your shoulder back. You're going to squeeze the bottom and push the hips forward. And then you can draw your left arm back so it really opens across the front of the shoulder. And thrust the hips gently forward. Take a nice big breath in, open the rib cage. Now we're going to flow. You're going to sit back onto your hips. You're going to move into your side bend. And then you're going to lift the hips again and push forward. There's a new one for this morning. So you're reaching over. I think the postman's just been. So hips back, reach over to the ankle, and then push the hips forward. So again, just encouraging that freedom through the hips. And to get more release through the front of the hips, squeeze the bottom as the hips push forward. And once more. And then we're going to stay in the centre and hold here. You're going to bend your left knee. Bring your right foot forward. And once you're here, we're going to take the legs wide. Again, you can give your sit bones a little tug back so it helps to level up your pelvis. We're going to bring our left hand forward, right hand behind. You're going to push off both hands. Again, you can bend your knees if you need to. So both arms are straight, your hips and shoulders nice and square, and you're going to simply let your left arm come forward. As the arm comes forward, it lifts just above your shoulder. Thumb almost pushing up towards the ceiling. Now your backhand, keep it super glued to the ground. Breathe out with your lift. So as you breathe out, just encouraging your muscles to relax. And 2 more. And then on your next one, you're going to bring the hand down. Push off the hands again. Bring your right hand forward this time. Now you don't have to go any further forward. You might find just sitting here is helping that stretch to increase. If your body's in pain and those muscles are hurting, they won't relax. So ease off a little. Get them into a position where they're aware of that stretch, but it's not beyond reasonable. Then when you start to feel the muscles relax more, then you might want to walk your hands a little further forward. Try and check your toes point up to the ceiling and your knees. And then see if you can bob a little bit further forward. Just easing in and out of your stretch. Now again, your hands might be here and you might just be rocking backwards and forwards. And grimacing. Give me 2 more. And then we're going to do all that work again, but on the other side this time. So we're going to bring that right foot in a little, thankfully. Left foot comes to your inner thigh. Give your sit bone a little tug back. You're going to breathe in, lift the arms. Nice big stretch. As you breathe out, hands to the outside of your ankle or your knee. And then just simply start to pull your right arm back. Now as you're pulling the arm back, gently squeezing your shoulder blade into the spine. And you want to feel it opens the front of your shoulder. Now sometimes when these muscles are a little tight, pull our shoulders forward and out of place. So once you get a nice stretch and release through the front of the shoulder, then it means the muscles in the back of the shoulder can work in a much better position. Give me 2 more. And then your last one. Bring it into centre. Bring both legs forward. And then we're going to lift the arms up. We're going to sweep forward. So you might notice this time, as you come back into those swimming arms, we've got a lot more freedom through our spine. Let the movement come through the neck. So as you're folding forward, your chin tucks in, your belly through towards the spine, and reach the arms up nice and high. Use the in-breath, reach the ceiling. And give me 2 more rolling forwards. We're going to stay forward and we're going to swim. So pushing one hand forward and then the other. Now again, you're gently turning your head, but you're trying to get your chest slightly open so you're not letting the back come into that rounded position. You're pushing your rib cage gently forwards. Easing the head from side to side. Oh, I love this feeling. And again, once more each side. And then we stop here. We're going to pull our left foot back again. Right foot comes out to the side, anchor into your hips, and we go back to our side bends. Just easing up to your right and back into the centre. Now you can have your hand either resting on your thigh, allowing your elbow to bend as you come across, or if you want to go a little deeper, your hand just comes onto the floor in front of your hip. Let the breath just run up the side of your body. And give it 2 more. Ready to pulse? So this time your hand stays up and over and you're going to pulse for 10. Again, not forcing yourself into a position that your body's not comfortable with. If you need less, just ease off a little for 4, 3, 2, hold on your 1. Your bottom hand turns up. You're going to reach in, bend the elbows, reach up and over. Pull down, go for length, and then a nice big extension. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And see if you can go a tiny bit further, using the out breath to relax into your stretch. So breathe out now. Breathe in, out and reach. And 2 more. Remember that side hover next. That's a combination of a hover and a stretch. We're going to hold here. Bring your left hand down to the floor. Right arm lifts. You're going to roll and push your hips forward. Arm comes over the head. Now, if your hips are sat back, you're not opening the front of the hip joint here. So you're going to try and gently squeeze the bottom and maybe roll that top arm a little further back. Press down to the hand, press down to the knees. And shall we float from side to side? Why not? Hips come back. You're going to go into your side bend. Hand under your shoulder, push into the hand and lift the hips. Breathe in, breathe out. In, out to lift. So remember that swooshing we did with our arm earlier? It's almost like that swoosh. The arm rolls forward, opens the shoulder, and then comes back and opens up your spine. So you're brushing past the ear, coming back down to the centre, and 2 more. And your last one. And from here, you just stay in the middle. We'll bring the legs back out wide. So again, knees can be slightly bent, but in time, shuffling down the floor. You are trying to encourage your knees towards the ground. So you can bring your legs a little closer if that helps get them straight. Once you're going to roll forward into your hips, it's your right hand forward this time. Your left hand, press your fingers into the floor as if you're gripping the ground. Push off both hands. Breathe in, breathe out, reach forward. And as you reach forward like the eye gaze, just softly lift with the hand. And you should feel that each time you roll forward, there's a nice gentle stretch in your inner thighs. Or maybe it's not very gentle. Maybe it's quite effective. And if you need less, just come forward rather than upwards. If you want more, arm comes up a little higher. You're still keeping that back hand pressing into the ground. 2 more. And then we're going to work with both arms. So you're going to hold it here. You're going to bring your opposite arm forward. You're going to fold forwards, push your chest forward, and just bop with the elbows. Now you might not need to go very far, but try not to round through your upper back. Sometimes we get that feeling that we're going lower and all we do is bend the upper back. You're trying to keep the front of the ribs lifted and it's a tip from the hips. So we don't keep overstretching these muscles here and making them stretch when they really don't need to. They're the ones that need to be strong and switched on. Little pinch back between the shoulder blades. Let's swim with the arms again. You're going to breathe in this time and lift the arms. You're going to reach forward and then pull back. Little tuck in. That back of the hands just brush along the floor as you're rolling through your spine. And a couple more here. And we're going to do everything else lying down. And rest. Bring your hands behind your hips. Bring your knees in. And we're going to roll back. I'm going to change position so it's just a little bit easier to follow. Just a little. So from here you're going to roll down into a lying position. Feet hip distance apart. And you're going to pick up your right knee. You're going to do a few circles first. You can take your arms wide. You're going to circle with the knee just around the hips. Now let your left knee come out a little. So you're allowing that right knee to get a bigger circle all the way around the hip joint. But as you're moving your right leg, you're trying to keep this left leg nice and still. 2 more circles. And then you're going to hold your knee above your hip. Keep this left knee still. Gently bring the back towards the ground. And as you breathe in, knee comes out. And then breathe out, knee back above the hip. So you're trying to focus on that left leg staying still. Because the more you keep the left leg still, the more it's keeping your pelvis still and brings a much better stretch into the inner thighs. Little core connection, so your belly's gently drawing towards the back. Breathing in as you ease the knee down and out with your lift. Chin tucked in all the way through. 2 more. In through the nose and then out through the mouth. Now from here, you're going to hold the knee out wide. You're going to lift the opposite knee off the floor, so your knee's just outside your hips, and you're going to gently rock back and come forwards. Now don't worry about lifting too high. If from here, you can only work with that pelvic tilt, that's fine. Just feel like your belly button's drawing down to the ground. If you can, you might want to make it a little higher, letting the roll come through the back. Keeping the chin tucked in all the way through. And just 4 more to do here. If you need less at any point, you can just bring the feet down and roll with the hips. Now we stay in the centre. You're going to bring your right foot down, slightly out to the side, and then circle with your left knee. So again, as if you're drawing a circle with your kneecap. Pelvis nice and strong all the way through. So a little core connection. Try and get the knee right to the outside of the hip and across the midline of your body in the centre. And a couple more circles. And then we're going to move the knee to the side. So hold the knee in the centre, so it's directly above your hip. Shin parallels the ceiling. And as you breathe in, let the knee drop out. And then breathe out to pull it back in. A little bit of focus on your right leg. Try not to allow that right leg to move. So you almost want to feel now that you're using your tummy muscles to pull the leg back into the centre. Breathe in as the knee comes down. Breathe out, pull the belly button back to the spine. In through the nose, out through the mouth. No rocking of the hips. Now time for rock and roll your shit. 2 more to the side. Out breath on that lift. In breath again. And out breath. Hold it wide. Bring the opposite knee up again. And let's just do a few more roll backs. So we're getting that movement into our back. And the muscles between the ribs and the hips and the lower back, sometimes they get a little tight. And they stop movement through the hips as well. So it's trying to attack all those muscles that attach around the pelvis. Use the out breath as you lift, in breath to lower. Give me 2 more. And then you can place your feet down. Both feet come down. Now from here, you're going to bring your knees in, back into set position, and you're going to pick up your right foot onto your left thigh. So you're looking for a figure 4 shape. I want you to check when you're in this position that your ribs aren't squashing down towards your hips on the other side. So if you put your fingers in your hips and your ribs and try and make sure you've got equal space, then you're going to press your tailbone to the floor to keep everything still. And now with your hand on your right knee, you can gently press the right knee forward. Little connection into your core. And as you're pushing your knee forward, you're trying to make sure the hips don't move to the side. So if the muscles around your right hip are really tight, you'll feel that your left hip wants to move rather than stretching out your right hip. So you've got to super glue your bum to the ground. You can stay with that mild stretch, or you might want to go a little bit further. You can take your hands out wide. Press the shoulders back into the floor. We lift the left knee. We breathe in. With the out breath, knees come above hips. As you breathe in, your foot lightly touching the floor, and then breathe out to lift again. Now, as much as we're stretching through our right hip, we're doing a little bit of core work at the same time. So as you lower your foot, we're going to try and keep a soft imprint between the lower back and the mat. Breathing out through the mouth on the way up, and then breathing in as you ease down. If you want to take it further, you can use the hands behind your left thigh and just gently encourage that knee in a little bit further. Trying to be aware that your spine and your hips haven't twisted. Almost peel the bottom off the floor. And just a couple more on this leg. And hold. One last little challenge. If you don't like this, you don't have to go into it. You can just put the foot down and stay with that press here. You're going to roll your knees to the left. So your right foot is going to come down towards the floor and your left knee rests down on the ground. Hand comes onto the knee here and you gently press the knee forward. Now your hips might not like that. So if you need a little less, just come back into that set position and work with the press here. As you breathe out, a little press onto the inside of the knee. Not too much pain, just a mild stretch. Okay, give me 2 more little presses onto that knee. Now you can either bring your feet back to the ground. So you're going to lift your left knee up so your knees squeeze together. Your knees can either come on the hips, above the hips, sorry, or feet on the floor. We're just going to roll to our right. So you're going to breathe in, keep the shoulders down, and then breathe out, come back into the centre. So your thighs are staying gently squeezed together. You're breathing in, you move across to your right, bringing the stretch into your left hip, and then you're breathing out, pulling the knees back into the middle. And again, as you're pulling the knees back into the centre, you're using your tummy muscles. So you're going to breathe out, pull the belly button back to the spine. And again, breathing as you roll just to your right. And the out breath to come back into the centre. Give me 2 more to this side. Nice and gently down. The good news is, you know what's coming on the other side. And then you can rest your feet back down. Take your feet back to being hip distance apart. So we're going to come back to our left side now. More release through the outer thigh. So you're going to pick up your left foot, place it on your right thigh. Now if you let your ankle joint sit onto your thigh muscle, when you lift the knees it hurts. So try and get the ankle bone off the thigh. Level up the pelvis, nice and long through your spine. And let's just ease back into those hips. As you're pushing your knee forward, you're trying to keep the hips and the shoulders nice and grounded. Breathing out to push and into release. Then if you want more, we start with our right leg lifting. We breathe in, out breath, knee comes above hip, and then your in breath as it lowers down. Connect your core. So when you lower your right foot to the floor, you're keeping that little bit of contact between your lower back and your mat. Breathing out through the mouth, in as you release. Keep the back of the neck nice and long so you're not looking back behind your head, you're keeping that chin tucked in. If you need a little bit more help, your hands come behind your right thigh and you encourage that stretching more. Again, not to the point of pain. And if you've got bad hips, you might just prefer to keep that first position with the foot on the ground. Give me 2 more here. And then you're going to wait here. Take the arms wide. Roll them to your right. So it's your left foot that comes onto the floor and your left knee that points to the ceiling. Press your left shoulder back into the ground as much as you can. And so you can ease that knee forward. Don't force it. just feel a deeper stretch through that outer thigh area. And again, you'll notice, as I do, it's a lot tighter on one side compared to the other. Much tighter on this side. But again, just be really kind, really gentle. Using your out breath to encourage that release. And just give me 2 more. Holding it here. Take the arms back wide. Lift your right knee up. So you squash your thighs together. Press the shoulders down and then bring the knee over the hips. To your left. Breathing in as you lower down. And then breathing out to come back into the centre. And again, you can let the feet come onto the floor. And just let that rotation come through your spine. So if your feet are down on the ground, put your right foot down and just rolling across to your left. So again, that just takes a little bit of pressure out of the movement. But if you want more pressure through your core, keep the knees just above the hips. Using the in-breath as you let the knees roll across to your left. Use the out-breath, pull the tummy back in. So again, you always feel like you're pulling your legs back into the centre with your tummy muscles. And 2 more. 1 last one. Always nice to finish with loose hips. Feet down, knees back to being hip distance, tucking the chin, and then when you're ready, you're just going to some frog's legs. So you take the back of your thighs. You're going to simply circle the knees around the hips. Not forcing them in any position now that feels uncomfortable. This is just to soothe the hips. Just letting them soften. And then take them the other way when you're ready. And hopefully that'll leave you feeling nice and loose for the whole weekend. Give me 1 more circle. Ready for your pixie rolls? Chin tucks in, gently roll forward, take a gentle flex, and then roll back. Change feet, and gently flex forward. Try not to flinch, keep it as controlled as you can. And remember, if you don't like the pixie rolls, you can just stay with that seated roll back. I quite like the pixie rolls, so I'm going to do 2 more. And then with your last one coming forward. Let the hands come forward now. So this time you're going to walk your hands a little further forward. You're going to push the hands into the ground, lift up the chest. And from here, you're going to try and bob forward again. Gently tucking the chin. And you might find once you're coming forward, as your back gets a little bit easier, you can take the arms further forward. And you might like to just stay here rather than bob. Wherever you are, you're going to breathe in. You're going to breathe out, making sure you're relaxing through your neck and your shoulders, gently pressing the knees down towards the floor. And then we restack slowly through our spine. Tucking in the chin. Let's finish with my favourite movement. Let's swoosh once more. You should feel then how much looser your shoulders feel. How much more movement's available through your spine. And 1 more this way. And then swoosh the other way. And we see swooshes in the English dictionary this afternoon. If not, it should be. Reach the arm forward. And then 1 last swoosh. And then rest here. Just take your feet out wide. Take a nice big breath in, reach up to the ceiling, and as you breathe out again, just flexing forward. Draw the belly button towards the back. Let the shoulders melt down. Keep the belly drawn towards the spine. And you're gently going to restack your spine. Shoulders come up above the hips. You bring your knees in. You lift your hands and give yourself a clap, ladies and gents. Very well swooshed and very well worked. Well done, everybody.